Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you my third and final Lego MOC based on the latest Lord of the Rings TV show, Rings of Power. Over here we have a scene from the last episode. I'm not gonna give you much spoiler if you haven't watched the show yet. Anyway, here we have Galadriel meeting with Halbrand, and I'm not gonna tell you more than that, just that this is probably the most important scene of the show, the scene that we were all waiting for. Anyway, that's it about the show. Let's talk about the build and the building techniques. To build this one, I actually repurposed the build that I made last week, the micro scale vignette with the ceremony at the Tree of Lindon. I basically removed all the terrain, the yellow and orange part, but I kept the water feature and I kept the main gray structure at the center. I did that because it saved me a lot of time actually. I keep the same structure, the same base, and as you know, I try to be consistent and give a lot of new creations. I try to make always 2 new Lego MOCs every week and 2 new videos here on YouTube for you guys to watch. So what I did is remove all the surrounding area. I kept the water feature, which actually in the other one was going around and then down into a waterfall. I bring it a little bit forward and then open it up a little bit to the side, and the base structure, that is this one in the center, is the same. I just change the tiling a little bit and I push it back a little bit to allow me to have the space for all this grass and this greenery in the front. Before talking about the building techniques, I want to show you the minifigure. Of course, these are not official minifigures. Here you see for Galadriel, I actually use a wizard torso and legs, the same one that I use for my recent wizard mob. And for Halbrand, I use a more regular torso. I changed the arms to the same color scheme. And because he's wearing some sort of long dress, then I decided to go with some bricks and then add some plates around the plates at the bottom as some sort of sandals. Also, there is one accessory that's very important for the scene. That is this sort of long paper where we have actually the story of the Halbrand family. Here I did a little bit of sticker surgery. I don't know if I can show you with these lights. Anyway, there is a little sticker there. I'm not sure exactly from where it comes from. Probably it's from one of those extra food sort of sticker. And is attached actually to a very old car door piece to make this long scroll that is there on the floor while they're having their conversation. Now let's talk about the terrain. As I told you before, I pushed the water a little bit closer, but I still kept a couple of corners here. In this case, of course, the color scheme is all green, not more yellow and orange. And then I build up all this grass feature over here, going to both sides, and then raise it up a little bit to the back. This is a good opportunity to show you a little bit, if you are not familiar with, what are the parts that I use and all the possibility that we have with Lego in terms of plant pieces and greenery. So for example, here are some of the things that I use. So here we have the one by one with the 3 leaves. I use the old kind of stem pieces, but also the new one, the one that have the bottom pin, and the one with the 6 stems. I also use different kind of flowers. So for example, this one is the older one, the classic small flower, while this one is the one with the pin all so that we connect directly into the stem there. And then I also use two of these one by one with the flower edges. This one got 4 edges, this one got 5 edges. Of course, this is not the same colors that I use in the build. I also use something else like this. This is a vine seaweed kind of piece, bamboo. I use a couple of the small 4x3 leaves, some carrot top, and some grass stem. In Lego, you have a lot of possibility. There's a lot of things that, for example, I didn't use, like all of this. And there's a lot more that I don't have in my collection, or even parts that are not actually plant, but you can use as plants. It's not so difficult actually to build these kind of things. You just need the right parts and a good amount of them, and then you can create a very nice green area and grass area. Anyway, with a mix of those, I created that green color scheme, all the yellow flowers like in the show, And I added a little frog here that is not in the show, but I thought it was a nice addition because they're very cute. Then after that, I build the central area. As I told you before, this is the same structure over there, but I had to build up a little bit more difficult structure at the back. So for the stairs where Halbrand come from, this is actually very straightforward. This is actually a series of 2 by 2. I stack 2 of them together and they are connected with one stud, so I can regulate and give the angle that I want to this stair. While over here you can see that I use 2 different, the same curve brick that I use at the bottom here, I use there and I put them the other way around. Let's see if I can remove this without messing up the plant work at the back. Okay, probably later I will have to put something back together again. So these are connected with one plate in the center, so I can create this S shape, and this one is going to create this sort of bench, and while this is as a different wall. So here I use a bracket, I use wedge plates to bring it up and try to keep a similar line, couple of masonry brick that I can move and regulate at an angle, and then I use also a T-slope over there so that the 2 walls can match in the center. This is actually connected with only one stud over there. Let's see if I can put it back together. There we go. So again, I have the ability to switch it around a little bit, and now this one probably is not gonna fit back in, but I have this wedge plate that is connected on one side over here. Okay, that should be the right spot. It's a bit flimsy, but once connected and everything is staying together. Same for this one, is connected with one stud, the one in sand green in the corner, and then I can just push it a little bit so it goes and align with that. One's jumper there for Galadriel, while this one is losing the center. So I think the effect of that wall is pretty much okay. And then I just had to build up the tree. I use basically a similar technique for the trunk like I used in the previous micro scale build. So I use all different kind of slopes and snot techniques to build it up. Some slopes, like not a particular inspiration to anything, I just build it up. Try to go on different angle. I added a few branches. You can see I use also one of these dark brown here. I made it a little bit simpler for the top. So for the top I just use the big leaf species and I just stack them. So instead of giving a nice rounded angle, I just needed a lot of them and stack them on top of them to create this tree. I also added a few of the 3 leaf species on top just to fill it up a little bit, but I wanted to keep it simple because in the micro scale build, the tree was actually the main attraction of the vignette, while here the main attraction is the scene and what is happening here, and I think the gray, light bluish gray in the center helped to bring out the scene from all the greenery around. The trees are there, but they didn't need to be so elaborate, and I say that saved me also a little bit of time so that I can continue building and prepare the builds for future video. Let me know your thoughts, guys, about this build or about the 3 builds that I built from the Rings of Power, and also let me know what's your thoughts now that the show is finished. It got some backlash, but I honestly quite like the show, a bit slow at times, but I really enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.